Right, here we are again with Stokes, everyone. Right, let's talk county cricket first and club cricket. Now, I want to know where'd you fit it all in? Playing for England, you play for Durham, the county, and Rajasthan Royals. Done the homework right?
Yeah.
How'd you fit all that in?
My county is Durham, which is who I, started playing for as a kid. I did the Durham Academy, was on the academy for 2, 3, 4 years. Then eventually signed a professional contract when I was 17.
Okay.
So, yeah, sort of went up through the ranks there, second team, then into the first team. Played, 2 or 3 seasons with the first team, and then sort of started getting picked in a few different squads for England. So, my time was, spent some time with England and then went back and played for my county.
So the more you're playing for England, you're spending less time with Durham, is that how it works?
Yeah, and like now over the last 4 years especially, hardly play for Durham, my county, because
it's complicated cricket though, isn't it? Why is it like, why can't they keep it simple like football? Like you're doing county, you got your club, like, do you enjoy playing for Durham still? Obviously you do. Yeah,
like the very rare opportunity, I'm not the only person in that situation, because when you play for England in all forms, it's basically 10 months of the year touring or playing in England. So obviously when it's winter in England you don't play cricket, but we're away playing, and then in the summer there's England fixtures everywhere. And then
just tell me how many games you played with Durham.
Over the last 4 years I reckon I've played 10 games.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Okay. And then your club, talk to me about your club.
Well, club,
first of all, there's an auction for your club. Have I got that right?
Well, that's in the IPL, yeah, the IPL. So that's like in India. That's taking place in India.
And I can't get my head around this. This is nuts. This is like a trade-off with players. Is it not a trade? They're basically auctioning for players.
Yeah, pretty much. So the IPL comes around once every year. They have the auction before it starts. And yeah.
And are you in the room? How does that work?
No, it's all taking place in India.
Okay.
Yeah.
You can still go to India.
Yeah, but it's not
the
for
done
that.
thing.
No.
Okay, and then whatever clubs want Ben Stokes, they're all bidding for you. Now, how does the bidding start? Do you hear how the bidding starts? Do you hear what sort of fee it is that's been flying around, splashing around?
The first year I put myself into the auction was in 2017.
When you say you put yourself, you're going to have to bear with me, I'm a beginner. When you say you put yourself in the auction, you just say, I want to go in, put myself in the auction.
Yeah, because it was like a time in the calendar where we were able to actually spend like 6 weeks there, because our calendar is so full, especially when you play for England, because summer is everyone's winter, now winter is everybody's summer.
Gotcha.
So it's just, so that was the first year where we could actually play there for a decent amount of time. So I remember my name, so it was my turn at like half 2 in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning English time.
Oh yeah.
And I remember I couldn't get it
live
on any,
streaming one of the boys.
Well, I couldn't get it on anything because it's in India, so you can't get it on TV. So I was having to follow it on Twitter.
Yeah.
And then when it eventually stopped, I was just like. Oh.
So does it actually work? Like, I'm not being funny. Does it work like a car auction? Like 50 grand, he wants him, 100 grand. Will it go like that?
Yeah.
As raw as that?
Yeah.
And have I done my math right? You 1.7 million.
Yeah.
It went up to. Now, when you first heard that figure, what was your first reaction when you heard that figure?
Couldn't believe it.
Is that the biggest figure ever? What is the biggest figure ever? Do you know? I haven't got a clue. It's got to be up there.
No, I think one of the Indians, like Yuvraj Singh or something like that, went for huge amounts.
Really?
So yeah, I just couldn't believe that had happened. Yeah, it was crazy.
1.7
Couldn't go back to bed.
Coin, right? And where did it go from there? So you obviously go out, meet with your teammates.
Me or
do you
teammates.
have any English boys involved there?
There wasn't in. This was my first year. Was at a team called the Rising Pune Supergiants.
Rising Pune Supergiants.
Yeah.
I've heard of them.
Yeah, that was my first year at the IPL. So there's like 6 or 7 overseas in each team. There was how many Aussies? We had 3 Aussies, a Kiwi lad.
They're good boys.
Yeah, South African, and then the rest are like all made up of the local guys in India.
And talk to me about the atmosphere going into the grounds. What's it like? Is it similar to Premier League football over here? Because I know they love their cricket over there.
It is. Like, the thing about India is cricket is a religion there.
Yeah.
They are.
I get it.
They're in love with the sport.
What sort of fans you playing? What the stadiums holding? What are they?
Well, it differs where you go.
Right.
You know, some places hold 20,000, 30,000, but then you go to somewhere like Kolkata where their ground's called Eden Gardens, they have like 80, 90,000.
Really?
Yeah.
I bet it's a buzz for you though, going into grounds.
It is,
like
it's
that.
just so loud. Like Indians who go and watch a cricket game
Yeah.
one Indian would make the same amount of noise as 3 or 4 English guys at a football game, I reckon.
Where
They're just so loud, they're just so into it, like they absolutely love it.
And cricketers you play against, you come across any cricketers where you thought, wow, talent?
Loads.
Who's the best cricketer you come up against?
Best cricketer?
All-rounder, where you went, he's mastered him.
I think I played against some unbelievable, so I played against the best players in the world, batsmen. I've played against the best bowlers in the world.
Go on in.
So obviously there's 3 different
Dissect them
formats.
for me.
Yeah,
Go
so
on.
best test match batsman I played against Steve Smith from
Right.
Australia. Best one-day player I played against is Virat Kohli from India. And best T20 batsman I've seen is between 2. There's AB de Villiers from South Africa and Joss Butler from England.
Right.
Bowlers, best I've faced is a guy from Australia who's retired called Ryan Harris.
Okay.
I faced him towards the end of his career, but he was still, he was really, really good.
Yeah.
He was one of the best I've faced.
And let's talk about, I want to go back to you playing for England. Who'd you team up? Do you have roomies when you travel?
I get our own rooms.
You get your own room?
Yeah.
Do you prefer that? I used
Yeah.
to hate having my own room.
Well, when I first started playing for Durham, I loved having someone to share a room with, and
Yeah.
mine was Scott Borthwick, who another Durham lad.
I know. Yeah, yeah.
He's godfather to my son as well, so
So you're close.
yeah. But then as you sort of get older and you
Want
start,
your own
you
time.
start getting your own room.
So
First
it's been
couple of
happened
times,
to me, though.
I was a bit like, oh, this is boring. Like, got no
I
one to
know.
talk to. But then the more you do it, the more time you spend away from home and
I
from your
want to
family
touch
and
on
stuff.
that. You like from football to cricket, we spend like 2-3 weeks is the longest we spend away from our families. You are 2-3 months at a time. Can it be that long? When you're on tour?
It can be away from home, yeah. But when we have long tours, the ECB, the cricket board,
Got to allow your family.
allow us like family visits, which they pay for, and
Yeah.
so which is nice. So
Do you find that hard travelling around? Are you a real homely person? How's that with you?
it never used to really bother me, but as I've gotten older and the more time that I have spent away from home,
Yeah.
the more I value time at home.
Yeah.
So even if I've got, like I remember going home once for 24 hours throughout the World Cup. I spent 3 days at home in the World Cup. And the World Cup was in England,
Right.
7 weeks of cricket, but I only had 3 days in my own house. So like, even though we had a home World Cup,
Got
I was
ya.
at my own house for
I was
3
trying to work
days.
that out, yeah, I've got you.
Constantly, changing in between hotels, living out of a suitcase. So yeah, I remember I went home for 24 hours and then I turned up to the next game training like refreshed.
Yeah.
Just because I needed to have a night in my own bed, night in my own house and stuff like that. So I value my time at home a lot more than what I used to.
And you mentioned training there. How does that, training for England, how would that work day in, day out? Is it tough going on your body? Is it as tough as what I'd say football, rugby is, or not really? How does that work?
Yeah, so training and stuff like us and that for us is
question's
probably
quite broad though,
yeah,
isn't it? 'Cause it all depends
it's more
whereabouts you are.
intense in the winter. So for example now I've got 5 weeks off from any cricket, so that's where I'll take my fitness training a lot harder than what I would in the summer whilst I'm playing, because when you're playing you're sort of staying at a level.
Yeah.
You're just you're topping up as you go along through the summer because we train that much and we play that much, whereas you get to a break, all of a sudden everything stops. So
See, do cricketers have to be that fit? Not being real? Because back in the day there wasn't, was there?
no, I think
I remember Bofi and Gatton used to fly around with derbies hanging out. Now you're all six. They did though, didn't they? But it was similar to football. They was all like, you could carry a little bit of dump and a bit of pudding, but now they're all athletes, absolute machines. You've seen the same in cricket?
Yeah, I think that's happened in all sports, like as
Yeah. Except darts.
yeah, except darts. Well,
Darts
they're
are
not that
still
big
carrying
now,
a bit.
either.
No,
Yeah, all
they
that
just
kind of
got to have
stuff.
the right
Yeah.
arm going, didn't they?
But I think as sport generally, over the years,
Yeah.
the level of fitness has gone up throughout all the
I get you.
sports.
Yeah.
And cricket now, there's so much cricket played that you have to be very conscious about what you're doing, because we play that much and it is very, very taxing on your body.
Yeah.
That if you don't look after yourself properly, you're gonna seriously injure yourself. You might knock 2 or 3 years off your career. So I'm at the age now at 28 where
you're ripped, isn't you?
I wouldn't say I'm ripped.
He's solid, this boy. He's built like a boxer. You're better looking in real life as well. Honestly, you're handsome. You're really handsome. Was there any pranksters going on that front? Any pranksters that you roomed with? Go on, in the English, because I know Graham Swan for one was an absolute legend. You got any stories?
There's a guy called Mitch Claydon, who's an Australian but played at Durham for many years.
They're crackers, the Aussies,
yeah, he was the prankster in the team at Durham.
Right. Okay. So he's in your team at Durham.
Yeah, he was in the team at Durham. Yeah. He plays at Kent now.
Right, that's my neck of the woods.
But yeah, he was the one who was always seeming to be doing it. He would like set his phone up in like the rooms to like scare people
before you go in.
He would go like proper rogue on it and like set it up properly. Yeah.
Sledging as well. Who, when you're actually in bat, who was the one with the sharpest tongue? Did you have anyone when you come up again? Oh, I'm going to get some off of him. Because Warney back in the day was known for a bit. Was any of them you come up against where you thought he's full of it? Or in your teams, who loves a bit of bunny?
Jimmy Anderson.
Yeah,
Jimmy
Anderson.
Got a bit. He I think he is. No, he's not misunderstood, but he is a very grumpy man.
Is he?
He admits it as well.
Don't come across like that.
No, but that's the thing. If you only know him from seeing him on the cricket field, you'll think he's moody and you think he's grumpy. Whereas off the field, he's a completely different bloke. He's so much fun. But on the field, it's almost like white line fever with Jimmy. Goes over, and then it's like, right, I'm in my competitive mode here. As soon as he then gets off and sort of gets away from the ground, he's then back to Jimmy
like
Anderson.
that? You the same because I've been with you all day today. You seem very level-headed. What I see on camera is very much Ben Stokes. There ain't too much change from you. You a similar person through your sport and after when you cross the white line when you go home?
It depends, like what's going on in the game, like situation of the game. You know, I tend to let my emotions come out more if I'm bowling.
Really?
Batting, I don't. Batting, I try and stay in my own little bubble and don't let anything try and affect me.
Reasons?
I think as a batter, if you start giving a bit of jib back to fielders who are giving you jib, you're never going to win, because no matter how many runs you get, if you get out, they've won. So it's almost, I feel like it's pointless.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Do you feel like as well, where you're out there's only 2 of you v the rest? Does that come into play at all, or not really?
No.
No.
Like,
you know, it's a numbers game. They're out there. They're all together. They're in a pack sort of thing, aren't they? You're out there in the middle of the field. They could come and affect you whenever they want.
But that's the thing. I just don't try and let what they're saying or doing have an effect on me.